Slightly different format this time. I'm gonna do a video update. The previous videos have been slightly scripted, and by the looks of it, it's not quite my style. But yeah, I thought I'd make this video just realistically to log this for my own sort of for future, and just to give a bit of a update on the tank. So what shall we start with? Let's start with the lights. So recently I've upgraded, well, some people would say I've upgraded, some people would say I downgraded. I mean, from my initial observations, I would say I definitely upgraded. So what I've done, I've plunged into full ATI, some power, I believe. This is the name of the light. It's a 8 bulb 80 watt T5 setup. I've done the supplementation LEDs as well. I've done a LED T5 supplementation as well. That sort of helps with the coral pop. Sorry about the ghetto sort of feed. This is just temporary, just to keep the light in place. I'm gonna definitely make something that looks a little bit better. But yeah, guys, I mean, you probably want to know exactly what I think of the lights. I've sort of alluded to the fact that I do like the lights, and that's definitely the case. The lights are great. The colors they're brought out from the corals are just like next level. In fact, after installing these lights, and I don't know, this is maybe an anecdotal evidence, but I have noticed that things have just perked up straight away. The par is less than what it was with the previous setup, which was Castle. And look, don't get me wrong, Castle was fine, but I have a feeling that maybe I had them too close to the surface of the water, and because of the way the tank is set up, I couldn't really have them any higher. But anyway, yeah, so far I've noticed that the coloration of the corals has improved quite a bit. Things have perked up, polyp extension is great. I mean, in all fairness, the lights weren't the only things that I changed on the tank. There's been a few other modifications, nothing major, but like, yeah, the main thing was the lights themselves. So like I was saying, the lights weren't the only upgrade I've done. I've also added an extra pump to the side, to the peninsula end of the tank. I'm sorry, I'm trying to shoot the video. I'm on sort of dad duties today, and it's my daughter. She's had a bit of a cold, and yeah, she's not all happy today. So yeah, excuse her in the background. As I was saying, the pump has I've added the pump recently. It's a Jabo Gyre. I believe it's the the 180, the SCP. That's it. Sorry, it's the SCP 180. I mean, I couldn't really tell you like how good the pump is. So far, in a sense that like reliability wise, like it's doing what it's meant to do, which I'm quite happy about. But obviously I've got the max spec gyres on the sides, the 350s, and the SCP 150 is definitely pushing a lot more water. It's a lot more powerful than the gyres, so that's good. I've sort of increased the flow to quite a bit now. So if you think about it, what I have right now is 2 gyres on both sides. The settings on them is 100% for 10 seconds, and they ramp down to 10%, and then it repeats. So they wait for 10 seconds and then they ramp up to 100% again for 10 seconds. Then I've got 2 Tunzis. I believe these are 6095s, and they work by 100% for 10 seconds, and then 100 and then 5% or 10% for 10 seconds. And the SCP, it's a sine wave program. So the way it works is by ramping up and then slowly down like a wave and then it ramps up again, and I believe it's at 80% right now. So yeah, that's the pumps and that's the flow. Obviously I also got two J-Bore return pumps, which are the DCP 10,000s. So you know, there's no lack of flow in the tank. So yeah, so what I've done, I've sort of positioned some of the corals differently. A lot of people have told me that they don't really like the look of the way the tank looks. You know, which is fine. I mean, that's their you know, that's their choice. Can't really do much about it. They don't like the fact that I've got these flat tiles all over the tank. I do have a good reason for that, well, for me anyway. I do appreciate the fact that, my apologies, I had to stop the video. She's got a bit of a cold, and yeah, like I said, she's not in the best of the moods. Yeah, so, you know, as I was saying, some of the people have sort of commented that, you know, they don't really like the tiles, and, you know, it doesn't really make the tank look very nice. And I kind of agree with them, but I do have a good reason for putting the way it is. The thing is that the beauty of the tiles is that in future, if a colony isn't doing well, or if there's any issues whatsoever, it would be quite easy to remove the whole colony, or to if you want to move the colony, if you want to put it into a different tank. I mean, this isn't my final setup as things go. I'm thinking of upgrading at some point, and this will make the whole progress, this will make the whole process a lot easier. So also, another thing worth mentioning, to be honest with you, I had the idea from your Coral Euphorium. He's the one sort of who came up with the idea, and because this is really a frag tank, I don't really have any big colonies in this tank yet. When things grow out and they cover the frag tiles, things will look a lot better than what they do now. So yeah, that's that out of the way. Yes, things have been going quite well lately. Right, so as I was saying, since adding the lights, I've noticed quite a bit of alkalinity consumption. I think my alk consumption has gone up by 40%. Now I don't know, like, whether it's related to the lights or to the amount of flow. I'm guessing it's probably both. Obviously I've also stabilized my nutrients. Another thing I did, I've increased the feeding, and if you notice, like, I've got some green haze at the bottom of the tank, like green algae. There's a little bit of it, well, there's quite a bit, but it don't really bother me. I mean, since I've done this, obviously I have noticed all the corals have perked up. I have lost a piece previously. I don't remember what it was a small frag, and I do believe that was because my phosphates were bottomed out. And my nitrates were quite low as well. So basically I've lost it due to low nutrients. But yeah, since I've been feeding a lot more, I've noticed better polyp extension, and you know, basically the tank is on the up. Another thing I've done, I have added I've added this supply of the calcium reactor into the chamber of my skimmer, and I believe that sort of bumped up my pH by about 0.1. So I was running sort of 7.8, 7.9, and since doing that I haven't really dropped below 7.9, which is really good. I'm really happy about that. So the highs are around 8.2 and the lows are 7.9. So yeah, that's the update. I mean, things are, like I said, looking up. You know, we still, I mean, obviously a lot of these corals, they're still frags, so they still got quite a bit way to go, but you know, I'm happy with the way things are going. Obviously I'm always waiting, with the skeptic in me, I'm always waiting for the next kick in the balls around the corner, so to speak. I mean, you know, with reefing, as much as it's great joy, you know, I love the hobby, but you know, it's constant. There's something always around the corner. I mean, and I suppose that's the reason why I love it so much, because there's that much variety, and you can never let your eye off the ball, so to speak. So yeah, what else should I speak about? What else? Yeah, so what I've been feeding, the way I'm feeding the tank at the moment is I've got it set up on an auto feeder. It's the Eheim one. If you go to my previous video, which has got terrible sound, and you know, people have said that, you know, they can't really hear me, but anyway, in that I show it's just a normal Eheim auto feeder, and it feeds 5 times a day, small amounts, the minimum setting you can select, just normal pellets. So that does that, and then every other day I feed a cube of frozen, or maybe 2 cubes of frozen, and that sort of, you know, keeps the tank happy. I've got a fleece roller in a sump, and that sort of keeps the water column nice and clean. The skimmer is pretty much 100% as well. Oh, that's another thing I did. I've cleaned the skimmer out, and I've changed the pump. It's the TMC, the DC 1000 skimmer, and the pumps on them are, pardon my language by the way, but it's the, you know, not so good TMC 2000 skimmers, and they are absolute rubbish. Okay, I'm sorry TMC, but your pumps are garbage. Compared to Jabo, which is like the cheapest one available, I haven't had a single Jabo pump go bad on me. But TMC 2, believe it or not. Anyway, I had a spare one, I replaced it with that, and my skimming performance has just gone, you know, just increased so much. So I'm really happy with the skimmer right now. I'll probably be replacing that at some point, but for now, you know, I'm going to leave it as it is. What I'm thinking of doing, I mean, I'm kind of happy with everything the way it is. I've sorted the lights out, I've got great flow, I've increased the feeding, you know, I'm doing my water changes. The next thing for me is to increase my pH. And the way I'm thinking of doing that is by using a peristaltic pump and using a calcium reactor, calcium calc stirrer, that's the way they call. Yeah, thinking of using that. So that's going to be connected to my ATO, and well, not connected, but it's going to be drawing water from the ATO through the peristaltic pump into the calc stirrer, and that's going to be pushing that into my tank. Now luckily I've got an Alcotronic, so I'll be able to monitor exactly what sort of pH I'm getting, and I'm going to put that on one of those Wi-Fi devices, the smart socket. So if at any point I notice that my pH is going too high, or which kind of is a good thing, I'm not worried if it goes to 8.5, 8.6, I'll be really happy, but anything higher than that, then that might be an issue. So yeah, if I notice that pH is going, or even alkalinity is going a little bit too high, I'll always be able to switch it off, and you know, Alcotronic will be able to dose, you know, if there isn't enough. So now I should be okay with that. Like luckily with Alcotronic, it kind of makes things a little bit easier. So that's the plan, and I'm really hopeful of this, because I think my biggest next challenge is pH, and my goal is to get 8 during the evening, 8.1, and above, I don't know, above 8.3 during the daytime. And to me, that should really improve things. Another thing I'm thinking of doing is start feeding amino acids. I've sort of dabbled in amino acids previously, but the problem has always been that it's always come back with the revenge, because when you have a frac tank and you don't have too many corals, you don't really want to be dosing aminos. But I'm not 100% on aminos right now. The reason why I say that is that there isn't really magic potions. Amino acids are you know, simple forms of you know, amino acids are simple forms of sort of simple ways of for the corals to consume. I'm looking for the word, I think it's organics, you know, I believe. But anyway, it is a simpler form. But the problem with aminos is that you have other organisms that are really happy to consume aminos as well. And if you don't have a big coral biomass, what tends to happen, if you dose it a little bit too much, you might have a problem of well, bad algae springing up. And I believe I had twice now the gold algae, aka crucifieds. That thing pops its ugly head every time I've overdosed my aminos slightly more than I should have. So that's why I'm being very cautious on aminos, and I rather have fish, sort of fish poop feeding the corals for now. So probably I won't do that, but that's something that I've been thinking of adding to the tank. Right guys, that's it for the update. Next time I'll rumble on about something else. My daughter is just falling asleep, so I'm gonna have to run, but yeah, thanks for sticking around. Give me some feedback, like on exactly what you'd like to see, if you have any questions, or if there's any ways I can improve on my sort of video making skills. Yeah, like doing it off the cuff is a little bit easier for me like this, because I don't have to spend the previous video took me 2 days to edit and it was still a little bit rubbish. So I'm hoping that this way I can sort of keep in touch for myself and for the viewers, and just basically have this sort of format, which is a lot easier for me. Yeah, anyway guys, you take care, and yeah, I'll catch you next time. Hey guys, just a quick video before the lights out. This is the tank on the blues. Thought I'd show you how it looks like with the orange filter. So yeah, a lot of the colors have come back since I've put the lights on, which has been great. That's my orange passion. This is my fauna marine home wrecker. This one is green coral Zeus. That one is hallucination. This is PC Rainbow. That one was sold to me as a strawberry shortcake, but I'm not 100%. That one is a strawberry shortcake as well. That's my forest teardrop samples. Lost a bit of color after my nutrients have gone up. That's TK Mighty Mouse. There's some weird red hue with the orange filter. You can see at the bottom. I think that must be the algae. It's gotta be. Yeah, at night with the blues, the tank really comes to life. Yeah, this is my little eye candy for the night. Yeah, anyway guys, peace out.